Well, it certainly can't be just if this is the whole story. And this is part of the reason that people like C.S. Lewis were convinced that there was a heaven, because he saw certain appetites that we have in this life that were not fulfilled. We have an appetite for justice, for example. We see that kind of thing. We say, justice is not being done here. Now, he observed, and I think this is a fair observation and quite an interesting argument. It's called the argument from desire. He says we have a desire for justice to be fulfilled. All desires have, at least in principle, satisfactions for that desire. We have hunger, there's food. We have thirst, there's water. Well, we have a hunger and thirst for justice, but there is no justice here. There must be, in principle, be a place where justice is satisfied perfectly. It's not in this life. Therefore, there must be an afterlife where this can be accomplished. That may not be compelling to some people, but it's an interesting argument. And I think it plays on our side, because people object, well, how could this be right and just, whatever? And my response is, the game isn't over yet. Let's just see this thing play out, because if the Christian view of the world, the biblical view of the world, is correct, then God's going to have the last word on this, and all of the accounts are going to be balanced. And this is the statement there that we read about in Revelation chapter 20. That's what goes on there. But keep in mind, when God does do that, that's the end of the show. As Lewis said, when the author walks on the stage, the play is over. And I've often asked, gee, if God were to come and deal in justice with all wrongdoers tonight at midnight, where would you and I be at 12:01? You see, our hands are on the smoking gun. We're the ones who are responsible for much of the evil individually. We're guilty people now. And God has delayed that action for a good reason. And we read about it in 2 Peter chapter 3, because he doesn't desire any to perish, but all to come to repentance. He's not slow with regards to these things, Peter says. He's long-suffering. He's patient. He's giving people the opportunity, instead of receiving justice for their actions, to have the opportunity for mercy. Now, that offer of mercy will not be extended forever. There's going to come a time when he says enough, and then he's going to deal with it, and then true justice will be done perfectly. But this is not what we want, really. We don't want justice. We want mercy. And for now, mercy is what's being extended. And this is why you see the continuation of evil.